Good evening, parents, guests. Mr. David Angus, our chair of the board and graduate from the class of 1962. Mr. Jeremy Cordell, president of the Alumni Association and class of 1992. Faculty and our grade 9 and 10 students. My name is Andy Rodford and I'm the director of the Senior School, and I'm honored to welcome all of you to the Senior School grade 9 and 10 closing ceremonies. And I thank you very much for joining us for this wonderful celebration of our students, your children. It's my pleasure to begin this evening by inviting Mr. Bob Snowden, our head of school, to say a few opening words. Mr. Snowden.
Welcome to our closing ceremonies for grade 9s and 10s. To formally close the year like this is important when we try to assemble the collage of achievements, personalities, and experiences that speak for these students. It's always a challenging and fulfilling year every year, and occasions like this are important. So much change occurs in a year of high school. Such change in young people often motivates a frenzy of metaphor, acorns growing into trees, fawns wobbling into maturity, orchards bearing fruit, and so on. But really, you students are all so much more than these metaphors. You are becoming truly and fully yourselves. People are always making predictions about the future, and usually such predictions are entertaining, except for those full of doom and gloom. When you look at past predictions, though, perhaps those you can find in magazines of 50 years ago, you realize the risks of such predicting. 50 years ago, the world of today was frequently included flying cars and people moving around in elaborate tubes, buildings with all kinds of appendages, and we are amused at such predictions. Think back for a minute, though, 108 years to the foresight of our school's founders. Could they have imagined the school of today? We still have the same schoolhouse that they knew, but they could not have foreseen what we have around the rest of the campus any more than we can now foresee the school of 100 years in the future. Yet the school will be here, and those who are here now will have a part to play in making the school strong and enduring. Students in grades 9 and 10 might try just looking ahead 2 or 3 years to the time when you will graduate. It's easier, perhaps, to think of the person you will become between now and then, and of the opportunities you will have. Of course, you don't yet know all of the opportunities you will have, nor the choices you'll be making, but I believe you are getting ready for them so that you can become most fully the person you are capable of being. In getting ready for these choices and opportunities, you will have as companions a committed and exciting group of teachers. I want to spend a couple of minutes acknowledging a few teachers who will be leaving us this year. First of all, Sarah Beeston and Gregor Clens will be spending a year away traveling, but they will be returning the following year. Serena Edwardson is leaving after 3 years of teaching French with us. Morgan McLeod, our senior drama teacher for the past 2 years, is moving on to new opportunities. Ray Casey is retiring, having spent the last 9 years guiding our graduates in their university and scholarship choices. Robert Common's wonderful commitment and character will be missed as he retires after supporting students in the English classroom and in boarding. Greg Marchand is also retiring after a substantial and impactful 14 years during which he taught English, headed our university counseling office, and served as a grade advisor. Finally, we want to wish a fond farewell upon the retirement of Ken Smith senior math teacher who has served the school with dedication and effectiveness for an impressive 38 years. Please join me in thanking and celebrating the contribution of these exemplary professionals. It's not widely known, but I taught at the school for 1 year on a teaching exchange in 1980-81. And the retirement of Ken Smith marks the last teacher who taught with me at that time. So all the best, Ken. It's been wonderful. Obviously, I think education is a wonderful thing. It has been my life, as it has been the life of my colleagues, your teachers. Together with you, we want to explore what the future holds, and in the words of the school's vision, to learn, to lead, to serve, discovering the promise in ourselves and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Snowden. This evening, each and every student from grades 9 and 10 will walk across this stage and be recognized for their respective strengths, contributions, accomplishments, whether these are in academics, athletics, the arts, leadership, or service, or as in the case of many of these talented young men and women, all of the above. Each grade also has its own collective accomplishments, and this too will be something that we'll catch a glimpse of and celebrate as we move through this evening. In addition to handing out the record of achievement to each student, a selection of grade 9 and 10 students will share a few highlights along the way and will be treated to some reflections and creative contributions from several students from both grades. For those of you who are new to the school, every student at the senior school receives a record of achievement which contains a student and grade photo and lists of academic achievements, sporting teams that a student has played on, service and leadership initiatives, along with any extracurricular activities in which a student has been involved. So without further ado, I would like to invite Aurea James, Joshua Benjamin, and Roan Reyna to the podium to begin the celebration of our grade 9 class by sharing a few reflections and thoughts from the year, followed by grade 9 academic advisor, Mr. Rich Primrose, who will present each of the record of achievements.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Benjamin, and I'm honored and delighted to represent grade 9 this evening at the 2013-14 closing ceremonies, along with Rowan and Aurea. This school year has been one of the most influential and amazing years for me as a student. I'd like to start off with a few facts on this year's grade 9 class. This year, our grade has 96 students, of which 65% are in a competitive sport. We had 36 new students join the school, with a total of 67 day students and 29 boarders. When I was first confronted with the idea of moving to a new campus, I was both excited and apprehensive. The jump from grade 8 to grade 9 seemed like a large hurdle at the time. Fortunately, the transition was made much easier by the Link Leader program, which is a peer support initiative for grade 9s by grade 12s. Throughout the school year, there have been many extracurricular activities and clubs grade 9s have been involved in. During the course of their year, our grade has tried to become involved in the school and sees all the opportunities available. One of my favorite clubs this year was Public Discourse Club. In this club, we would go out on different Model UNs and conferences. These conferences helped us improve our public speaking and negotiating skills. Some more academic opportunities which were available to grade 9s were an assortment of math contests, Free the Children, photography club, Pride Alliance, science club, and much more. This year, I joined Academic Council, which I decided to choose out of many others which were open to our grade, such as Arts Council, athletics council, and outdoor council. As a grade 9, I was still able to involve myself with the school and state my opinions on how to improve academics at SMU. Although we occasionally had some trouble with productivity, we still managed to get through the year, mostly due to Subway lunches in academic council. This year, my favorite subjects have been both math and science. In grade 9, students can choose from many different electives: marine science, sports science, languages, and modern studies. Furthermore, students can experience both drama and art. Throughout the year, teachers have been incredibly welcoming and helpful, making themselves available for extra help in person and by email. I enjoyed this year a lot, and I'm very excited for summer break in grade 10.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oria James, and tonight I'm going to be talking about my most memorable experiences of grade 9. Term 1 was filled with the excitement and bustle of high school life. Term 1 also made me thoroughly acquainted with one of my enemies, heavy backpack syndrome. I turtled my way through Term 1 just fine, although the amount of weight I carried on my back this year was atrocious. During Term 2, I participated in Spamalot, the school musical, while playing on the junior girls basketball team. The Spamalot performances were some of my most dignified events of the year. My mustache fell off in all 4 performances, one of which fell off onto the head of one of my fellow actors. The realization that you have made a huge mistake on stage while standing next to soon-to-be Hollywood stars is unforgettable. I learned more about time management in those few months than I have learned about anything else in my entire life. Have I now learned to manage my time? Absolutely. But do I still make sure to leave my homework until Sunday night? Yes. Term 3 out trips were also a definite highlight of the year. This year, I went on the whitewater kayaking out trip with 7 other kids. It seemed like it was going to be a nice and enjoyable out trip. Waking up to a cold, rainy morning and putting on a frigid and sandy wetsuit is delightful. The day only gets better when you are told to jump into freezing cold water and travel down the river in whitewater. Once in the water and floating downstream, you come to a pleasant surprise. Breathing is definitely not possible when your face is constantly submerged in water. While kicking as hard as you can to get out of the current, you realize that one of your wetsuit shoes has fallen off and you are now extremely lopsided. Naturally, it was one of my best experiences this year. I really did have the time of my life. This year has led me to experience more stress, more surprise, and more enjoyment than ever before. I really look forward to summer vacation and grade 10. Thank you.
Gee, this is a long ceremony, so I hope I'm not a bore. But I'm afraid I have 4 disappointments for you guys today. A lot, I know. David, Derry, and Bryce couldn't be here tonight, but I could. When I came to the senior school in September, I was expecting a personal jail cell where all they made me do was work. In reality, that's what I got. No, I'm kidding. I didn't really know what I expected, but my experience this year has been great and filled with lots of opportunity. What I did know is that it would be different, and we'd be the youngest again. What I didn't expect is for our grade to be on chairs almost every assembly. Sports were also different this year. They started earlier, and we trained harder. Volleyball, rugby, and rowing were all very popular sports, and each team did amazingly. The rugby team placed 4th in Islands, and there were a slew of other amazing finishes. And in truth, We have a lot of sports teams, so I'm not going to mention them all. Sports is not the only strength of our grade, though. This year, we had 5 grade 9s participate in the senior jazz band, a few of which took amazing solos recently at Jazz Night. Not to mention our Math Challengers team, who won first place at their regionals competition. I could go forever about the amazing achievements our grade has accomplished this year, but I won't bore myself with the details. I can't speak for everybody, but senior school this year was traumatic, to say the least. I'd like to thank the teachers for not only helping, coaching, and mentoring us, but also dealing with all of our shenanigans. But today is a celebration. Congratulations, class of 2017. You have finished your grade 9 exams, except you Math 10 people over there. You have another few days. Just remember, in 20 years' time, we will be calling these the good old days. The days of learning, leading, and serving for outstanding preparation, for higher learning, and for life. I felt compelled to add that in. So, in the wise words of Porky Pig, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed my speech, and if you didn't, well, I hope you had a good nap. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rich Primrose, and as the Grade 9 Academic Advisor, it is my pleasure to present the Grade 9 Records of Achievement. We'll be presenting the Records of Achievement in 5 separate groups, and I would ask you to please hold your applause until the end of each group. I'd ask Mr. Snowden to come forward, please, to hand out the ROAs. We'll begin with Group 1, Laura Bass. Joshua Benjamin. Matthew Bernston. Jasper Bosley. Felix Butterfield. Daniel Cow. Bryn Kethrea. Riley Clare. Nick Considine. Ming Dang. Sierra Dunbar. Stephanie Dunbar. Maggie Edwards. Aaron Forbes. Abby Fraser. Max Freund. Lucy Gale. Casey Gao. Ladies and gentlemen, your first group of grade 9s. Caro Garcia. Gavin George. Iham Gase. Paula Gonzalez. Rosendo Gutierrez. Sofia Gutierrez. Ewan Hannigan. Grace Hart. Alana Hawes. Bryn Haydock. Ivan He. Tony He. Noah High. Chad Hu. Jackie Huang. Simone Ingstrup. Aurea James. Cindy Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, your second group of grade 9s. Sophie Jones. Sam Khan. Benjamin Keep. Gwyneth Kinar. Gabriel Kingsley Nina. Rowan Coe. Kate Lauman Wallace. Nick Lee. Jane Leggett. Jasmine Leung. Jack Lebelt. Edward Liang. Jason Liao. Madison Liu. Maggie Manson Blair. Victoria Martuselli. Miwa Masuda. Ladies and gentlemen, your third group of grade 9s. Katie McCauley. Jessa McElderry. Anna Mullenhauer. Calvin Mook. Andrea Nesnadilova. Jim Newman. Livia Newman. Quinn Niguati. Roy O. Christian O'Keering. Max Olberg. Laura Queen. Rowan Reyna. Molly Robson. Jameson Schultz Franco. Lucas Simpson. Semily Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, your fourth group of grade 9s. Leah Sparkman. Donovan Sturdy. Jonathan Soodle. Sonia Sun. Glenn Sung. Valerie Swanston. Avery Thorpe. Caitlin Torstensen. Angel Sui. Chloe White. Aubrey Williams. Laura Williams. Benjamin Wingert. Alec Shu. Jasmine Yu. Lucy Zhang. Ariel Zhu. Jack Zhu. Zach Zwicky. Our final group of grade 9s, ladies and gentlemen. I would now like to call on Alec Shu to present our musical accompaniment. He'll be playing excerpts from Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue.
Thank you very much, Alex. That was purely outstanding. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's major award winners for our grade 9 students. The first major award is the Chapman Cup. This is awarded to exceptional all-round students in grade 9. These students have performed at a high level in the areas of scholarship, athletics, fine arts, leadership, and character. This year, the Chapman Cup is awarded to 2 recipients, and I invite them to come up and receive their certificate from Mr. Snowden, Jessa McElderary and Jonathan Sadul. Congratulations. The next award, the Commander R. Dyson Cup, is awarded to students who demonstrate outstanding effort and attitude in grade 9. I invite the following award winners up to the stage to receive their certificate from Mr. Snowden: Molly Robson, Joshua Benjamin, Simone Ingstrup, Madison Liu, Aaron Forbes, Nick Considine, Jane Leggett, and Sierra Dunbar. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Primrose, Mrs. LaMarche, speakers, Alex Yu, and the major award winners. And congratulations again to all of our grade 9 students. It has been a really, truly a spectacular year. Congratulations. I would now like to invite Jasper Johnson, Delphine G., Sarah Owen Flood, and Senna Yun to the podium, who will share some thoughts and insights regarding the year in grade 10, followed by 2 of our grade 10 academic advisors, Mr. Jake Humphreys and Mr. Greg Marchand, who will present the records of achievement to each member of our grade 10 class.
Good evening. School is one big journey, and grade 10 has been one of our most adventurous legs yet. From out trips to musicals to exams, our grade has pushed the boundaries on what it means to be students. Over the course of the year, we've experienced both triumphs and defeats, but throughout it, we've endured, learned from our mistakes, and ultimately become better people. Over the next few minutes, we'd like to share with you some of the exciting things our grade has done this year.
Students usually, height problems, okay. Students usually dread going back to school, but this year, at least we could prolong the summer just a little by going on out trips. The only problem was choosing which activity to join. There were so many options and everyone wants to be with their friends. There were many popular choices like salts, rock climbing, and sea kayaking. Though places were limited, everyone was able to have fun in the end, even if we had to survive without showers for almost a week. Out trips taught us many important and useful skills, and afterwards we could better appreciate the comforts of home, especially flush toilets. That was a great start to the year, but all good things come to an end, and eventually we had to do some real schoolwork. When school started after out trips, we hit the ground running. Some of us literally, as part of the school's many sports teams, and others figuratively, as they got involved in a myriad of clubs and councils. From the start, it was obvious that the journey through grade 10 would take us in many directions.
Most of us had already gotten the feel of senior school sports last year, so we immersed ourselves immediately come first term with strong performances from all our athletes. Our grade led the junior teams and made solid contributions to over 14 different sports. During the first term, our team set the bar high and achieved competitive standings in ISAs, cities, islands, and provincial-wide tournaments. Highlights included the junior boys soccer team winning ISAs and the field hockey team winning island championships. Our grade kept the high intensity and competitive spirit throughout the second and third terms, as our junior girls basketball placed first in the city, and the squash and rowing team both achieved impressive placings. Expanding from the junior level, athletes in our grade were able to play up on the senior girls soccer team and the senior badminton team to help them both become the ISA champions.
Musically, the grade 10s had a dynamic year. Not only were grade 10s energetic participants in the concert band, but in extracurricular music activities as well. The swing and jazz bands had a strong presence of grade 10s that demonstrated leadership by taking difficult solos yet staying composed in the recent jazz night. Additionally, many grade 10s joined the senior concert band to add to their group, coming to many tiring morning rehearsals and having to practice several hours on their own time. There was also a substantial group that participated in this year's musical Spamalot. The musical was a great success and definitely would not have been as good as it was without some key grade 10 students in the cast and pit orchestra. Another noteworthy accomplishment was the large and small ensembles concerts, which were definitely a major accomplishment this year. The band, strings, and choir assembled together to create a stellar performance. All in all, the grade 10s ended the year on a great note.
Boarding at SMU is a way of life that offers special opportunities to experience different cultures and form lifelong work, study, and service habits. Over the course of the year, our grade 10 boarders have been key contributing members of the SMU community. In such a vibrant setting, our boarders have had amazing experiences as they cultivate lifelong friendships. From house games to the weekly cultural dinners, boarders bring a unique diversity to the school.
As you can well imagine, it's difficult to cover all the extracurriculars of such a diverse grade. Since this was our second year here at the senior school, we were able to step out of our shells a little more and acquire more roles and leadership positions. Our versatile grade was involved heavily in many areas and planned school events such as We Day, Keep the Beat, Model UN conferences, and the school's first Youth Against Local Poverty conference. We also attended weekly club and council meetings with topics ranging from the Pride Alliance to Business Club to Service Council. With each experience came new friends and memories, yet, most importantly, our involvement in the school's clubs and councils helped foster the supportive community our grade has today.
During March break, students from our grade traveled around the world. To South America, Asia, Australia, and Europe we went, on cultural exchanges, service trips, and science adventures. With these trips, we spread awareness of our school's 4 pillars: service, honesty, respect, and courage, and at the same time gain an invaluable global perspective. Several students also hosted exchange students in return, which was a valuable cultural experience for the entire school. Diving fast into the fast-moving river, which is the 3rd term, clubs, courses, and creativity reigned. Each opportunity, both academic and extracurricular, was another brick in the foundation of our grade's legacy, a start of what is to come in grades 11 and 12.
Out trips were fantastic, but for the grade 10s, the 3rd term offered another occasion for outdoor education, the experiential program. Students participate in the regular academic program for the first 2 terms of the year, and the final term runs on an altered schedule with major experiential components. This combines academic learning with participating in outdoor activities and learning leadership skills, service, environmental ethics. Students learned not only can they help their community as individuals, but can also expand their scope to a global level. Participants then used these skills they learned and applied them to other aspects of their everyday life. Challenging and engaging, our grade loved the experiential program. We recommend that the grade 9s consider this opportunity for next year and hope that those grade 10s who enjoyed the experiential program will take part in the outdoor leadership program offered next year.
Going from grade 9 to grade 10 was a major advancement, with increased work, leadership, and responsibilities. It seemed not long ago when we first entered the senior school. Now, our grade being more unified than ever, we head for grade 11 and will no longer be the juniors in the school. We showed strong leadership in academic, sports, arts, and music, which we plan to magnify next year. In grade 11, we will have more freedom in our course selection, and with the help of our guidance counselors, each of us managed to choose 6 to 8 course subjects from the seemingly endless list of courses. With the introduction of difficult AP courses, another provincial exam, college applications, our grade will have much to look forward to.
None of this would have been possible without the amazing support of our teachers and fellow students who consistently push us to be our best and pick us up when we stumble. As the year draws to a close, we can stand proud, having completed another leg of our journey with only 2 more years left. We cannot wait for the climactic adventures yet to come.
So we thank you all for gathering here tonight to see us to the next part of our high school journey. As we start looking towards our grade 11 year, we see many great things that we will be looking forward to.
Last one. Through the trials of exams and coursework, we have persevered to the end so that we could be here today, proud of our achievements and looking brightly into the future. So, on the behalf of our grade, we wish you all a fun and restful summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasper, Delphine, Sarah, and Senna. My name is Greg Marchand, and I have the extreme pleasure of presenting the first group of grade 10 students. So I'd like to ask Mr. Snowden, if his arm is recovered, to present the records of achievement. Amanda Allison. Melanie Ashton. Alessandra Barquin. Lizzie Bailey. Chelsea Bean. Sid Bogman. Sasha Boehm. Dimitri Barotto. Matthew Cafaro. Julia Chang. Brilliance Chen. Elaine Chen. Shako Chi. Conrad Chin. Sunny Choi. Charlotte Colby. John Cook. Karen Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, your first group of grade 10 students. Lucas de Vries. Cassia de Souza. Olivia Donald. Miles Duncan. Liam Dyson. Ben Edwards. Luke Erasmus. Bryn Erickson. Flora Feng. Connor Fenton. Pablo Fernandez. Robert Fisher. Jack Forgrave. Loris Friedley. Benjamin Gannon. David Gardner. Nicole Gendreau. Ladies and gentlemen, your second group of grade 10 students. Aveen Glenn. Josh Graffey. Kelly Gu. Sarah Hagel. Senna He. Moritz Henke. Emma Husser. Jordan Hibbert. Hari Konamu. Delphine G. Annika Johnson. Oh, Joseph Johnson. Jasper Johnson. Sarah Jones. Antonio Junco. Joshua Kahn. Kira Kawaguchi. Ladies and gentlemen, your third set of grade 10 students. Alec Keach. Chloe Keeler-Young. Jordan Kerr. Mehrab Kazai. Hugh Kester. Roy Kuo. Grace Kwok. Katerina Lakatic. Passet Lauthamatis. Ryan Lee. Tiger Lee. Vanessa Lee. Kitty Liang. Sean Leider. Ladies and gentlemen, your fourth set of grade 10 students.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Humphreys. I'm another of the academic advisors for grades 10, 11, 12. I should mention that our other two advisors, Ms. McCallum and Mrs. Casey, are both here tonight to watch their charges go across the stage as well. Kathy Lynn. Tim Liu. Vicky Liu. Desiree McIntosh. Daisy Miao. Rahul Nair. Boy. Robin Noel. Marcelo Olson. Ethan Otto. Sarah Owen Flood. Ben Parker. Chris Parkinson. Zai Fan. Eve Hanachit. Jimmy Key. Hank Kian. Ladies and gentlemen, another group of grade 10s. Roy Rao. Mia Roberts. Jonas Robinson. Artem Sakbiev. Michael Salmas. Angela Saunders. Leo Shang. Michael Shen. Madeline Standen. Tyler Strandberg. Abby Sun. Yulin Sun. Claire Swanston. Josie Tamburi. Grace Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, another group of grade 10s. Becca Thompson. Angie Tian. Olivia Tognella. Ryan Tots. Bernard Tung. Jacob Walker. Doreen Wang. Iris Wang. Alex Ward. Jenny Wedd. Juliana Wong. Michael Wong Harrison. Bell Wu. Kiko Wu. Ladies and gentlemen, another group of grade 10s. Linda Shu. Teresa Shu. Kleist Yang. Sherry Yang. Patricia Ye. Ted Ye. Peter Yin. Jason Yu. Sena Yun. Yi Zheng. Pink Sheng. Skylar Singh. Clement Singh. Edward Shu. Irene Zhu. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a grade 10 class. Ladies and gentlemen, George Gershwin gets his due tonight as 3 grade 10 musicians will entertain you with yet another Gershwin hit, namely Summertime. You'll hear Ben Parker on trumpet, Belle Wu on guitar, and Charlie Colby on vocals.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With Mommy and Daddy, Mommy standing by.
Thank you, Ben, Belle, and Charlie. That was absolutely incredible. It is my pleasure now to introduce our major award winners for grade 10. Like the grade 9s, there are 2 principal awards, and we have multiple winners. The first award is the Considine Cup. This is awarded to individuals in grade 10 who meet the criteria as an exceptional student with an equal emphasis on scholarship, athletics, fine arts, leadership, and character. The recipients of the Considine Cup are Sunyu Choi, Jasper Johnson, Ben Parker, and Patricia Yee. Congratulations, and come and get your certificates. Congratulations. You can leave the cup. Leave the cup on the table, or it's okay. Photos after. The second award is the Student Council Award, and this is awarded to a student who has shown outstanding attitude and effort across the board in grade 10. It's my pleasure to announce 8 worthy recipients of this award for 2014. Again, please come up to receive your certificates from Mr. Snowden. The recipients are Flora Feng, Becca Thompson, Mia Roberts, Josh Kahn, Sarah Jones, Robin Noel, Bernard Tung, and Iris Wang. Congratulations to all our award winners tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Humphreys, Mr. Marchand, Ms. LaMarche, the speakers, fantastic musical presentation, and a song theming what most of you are waiting for. And congratulations once again to the grade 10 class. Before we conclude quite literally with a song and a prayer, I'd like to share a few final thoughts. Some of you have attended one of Heather Clayton's inspiring parent seminars this year, focusing on learning and the brain. Or those of you who are parents of grade 9 students might recall our discussion about the teenage brain at the first parent meeting at the beginning of the year, where I suggested that at this stage in life, teenagers can sometimes have the intellectual equivalent of a smoke detector when it comes to hearing and absorbing what parents and other adults would like them to learn. Therefore, the concept of brain-based learning has continued to theme several of our regular blog submissions, articles on the website, and much of the visiting speaker and event planning for our power-packed Brain Awareness Week. At the end of the day, one could suggest that this has been another year of the teenage brain. Learning and what is sometimes referred to as enduring understandings, things that you'll remember for a lifetime and that shape who you become, are different for all of us, however, generally come from the act of doing and are foundational to our experiential program, the SMU pillars, vision, and mission. Needless to say, there are countless illustrations of this learning that we could highlight from the year. However, a wonderful example came during the alumni weekend when I had the opportunity to share a conversation with a graduate from 1959, 55 years ago. During our chat, he joked about not remembering too much of grade 9 math or how to conjugate all his French verbs. However, he was able to recount in remarkable detail the memories of his band playing at a local retirement home, who was there, what songs they played, and the smiles on the faces of the audience members. He remembered the specific conversation about politics with a favorite teacher when they were cleaning up after a formal dinner. He had several interesting stories from one weekend when he was acting prefect in the boarding house, and a landmark athletic moment of traveling up island to play rugby where I could almost smell the grass as he described in detail a moment of being held face down in a ruck as a grade 10 student who had been called up to play with the first 15. Nothing but a smile on that muddy face, he recalled. Through all the stories, there were continuously tears in the corners of his eyes that he tried to tell me were just sea air messing with his cataracts. However, we both knew the truth as he continued talking about his learning at SMU. In the end, while he gives SMU tremendous credit for preparing him academically and inspiring him for the career he enjoyed, his learning and his enduring understandings receive the highest praise for helping to kindle who he is today and how he sees the world. Amazing that after 55 years of other experiences piled in on after high school, that so much came back to his doing at SMU. Now, back to the teenage brain that might have drifted while I was talking and heard me say something about Spanish verbs and a grass faceplant and the new One Direction CD being totally dope. I don't know what that means. But mostly is currently wondering, when is Mr. Ronford going to say, have a good summer? It goes without saying, not yet. It goes without saying that all of the students in this audience have heard from more than one of us over the course of the year, urging you to stretch your comfort zone, get involved, try your hand at leadership or service, try a new sport, join a council, and to ultimately exercise your brain. Do anything but sit idle. So the grade 9s and 10s, the message I will leave you to think about is this. You are all engineers of a very important stage in your brain development, and everything you do during these years will set you up with the skills and the enduring understandings you'll need to help negotiate and hurdle anything that you encounter on the journey to discovering yourself and the world that you live in. So when you return in September, be ready to try new things and to step outside your comfort zone. This will be a time in your life when being selfish, which is often spun as a negative term, may be the most positive thing you can do for your future. This will be your challenge, and we'll hold you to it as part of our promise as both a school and a faculty. And now, with the talent of Mr. Peter Butterfield on the piano, we will stand and sing the first verse and the chorus of the school song, which will then be followed by Reverend Fletcher with our closing prayer.
You can remain standing, I'll be short. Earlier this afternoon, the junior school met in this space and closed their time with a prayer. It was written by 2 grade 5 students, Stefan and Shay. They imagined an average day on their campus and named the things for which they were grateful. They opened by talking about how it felt to be welcomed at the crosswalk by people who were there to keep them safe. I don't know about you, but that didn't happen for me this morning. On the senior campus, we navigate the perils of crossing the street without assistance. It's not that people don't care about our well-being, it's just that we're ready for larger, deeper challenges that come with senior school life. So between the lines of this prayer, we'll offer gratitude for having our thinking pushed, our values challenged, our actions critiqued. We'll give thanks for a complete lack of easy answers and a fistful of really good questions. Thanks for all the tasks that position us to discover more about our promise, more about we can offer this world. And yes, though we won't be thanking anyone for holding our hand as we cross the street, we will remember those who supported and inspired us through these greater challenges. With all this in mind, I invite you to join me in prayer. Let us pray. Gracious God, for this year together and the challenges faced, for every time we dusted ourselves off and reapplied ourselves to the task, for those who offered us the straight goods about ourselves and the inspiration to reach deeper within. Whether it happened on the pitch or on the stage, in class or in the quad, whether it was a moment when we served, learned, or led. In fact, for all that helped us grow in body, mind, and spirit, we give our thanks. So we pray, Amen. And now it's time to take a break before the next round, but first 2 things. Number 1, major award recipients, please meet at the stage directly after. And number 2, enjoy that summer. Vivat!